I lit a candle. I took a bath. I said a mantra. Look at me.
And you're still side-eyeing the neighbor like they owe you peace.
Turns out self-care isn't a personality.
Maybe you should just rest instead of recording it.
Coach, please.
Hello and welcome. We are back. Monsuite, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am well, and here we are with another episode of Coach Please, where we help you, coaches, get out of your own way and out of your own stuff. And I'm being not safe for work on that one.
I love it. I love it. All right. So today, I love to bring different topics. And this is a topic that I think we all do. And it's all around the self-care piece. And I feel that, first of all, coaches are the worst at their own self-care. I can be guilty of that. But I find that right now, I'm starting to see a lot of self-care as a performance where everybody's documenting their self-care. I'm at the spa, I'm in the middle of getting a massage, I'm lighting the candles, I'm playing the singing bowls, I'm at yoga. And I don't know, I'm just wondering how much can you really be doing introspection if it's all about performing it to then record it to then share it.
The answer is it isn't. Because
Yeah. I mean, are we really resting? I mean, these are resting activities. Are we really resting or are we curating a vibe that we want to have?
yeah, curating is the perfect word there. We are curating an experience of look at me, look at me, look at me, which is all generated by social media, the Instagram lifestyle, and all the other nonsense that's really come forward since social media blew up and we had this thing called influencers suddenly become a role. Um, we talk about it in coaching, particularly with ICF coaching. One of the core competencies is maintains presence. You're always present with something, whether you're consciously present with it or unconsciously present with it is that's who knows, but you're always present with something. If your self-care is about recharging and refueling and re-inspiring yourself and you're doing it to be documented, are you present with the documentation or are you present with the refueling? And
Yeah.
it's going to be one of them.
And then, that's really well said. And on that note, it's almost like becoming a job. I'm guilty of this where I see the perfect looking bathroom that's going to put me into a state of peace and I'm taking photos of it that I'm never going to recreate my bathroom to look like that. Or you find the perfect library, you're seeing it online. Oh, the best reading room ever that's going to make you so smart. You're going to go in there with your cup of coffee and you're going to sit in your cozy corner and in an hour you're going to be completely revitalized. And that may happen, but I know that there's times when we're just even taking photos of the possibilities of what we could have. And it's almost like I'll never get there unless I create this particular look or this particular space or go to this particular retreat versus, okay, I'm a coach. What are the first three things I just need to do for myself in self-care that aren't about curating any kind of look or anything to report?
Mm-hmm. And there's an element in this conversation that reminds me of our previous episode of value of it comes from inside. And it's almost as we think about those spaces, like you described, that incredible bathroom, that incredible library, that incredible coffee shop where I can just peace out and enjoy my coffee while I do my work or whatever it is. There's the outward comparison that might be an idea. Maybe there is an inspiration in that yeah, one day I am going to tear that bathroom apart. And I've done that in the past. Like, let's rip it down and redo it. It's like life. The clients who come to us, let's rip down what is and create what's coming next. But when we see those outward representations of the dream turn inside, and what's the energy and the emotion that it's invoking in us as a desire to create the thing for us. And maybe it doesn't go to the doing just yet. It's about being in that energy, which is where the beginnings of the self-care is, of how do I keep tapping into this rather than feeling like I need to go do a tens of or hundreds of thousands of dollar house remodel.
Yeah, there's definitely been a shift in how self-care is supposed to look. And and I think a lot of people are attaching on to what it has to look like, what it's supposed to be, what we're seeing, what's been curated. And sometimes self-care is really messy. I mean, maybe it's just you laying on the floor for a minute with your eyes closed while your dog's sitting there next to you judging you. Maybe it's as simple as that.
Mhm.
And I think that because it has become this sort of built up thing for all of us because we see it so much on social media that maybe it's possible so many coaches are not even trying self-care because it's like, well, to get to do that, I would have to do all this and I can't even get to that yet. Maybe it's literally just sitting in your chair and closing your eyes and taking a couple of deep breaths before you move on with your day. I mean, it doesn't have to be a performance and it doesn't have to have a curated event and it doesn't have to be something that should or needs to look a certain way.
And while we do that, let's just bring this to a real moment, because what I'm present with right now is there is a cat scratching at my door. And my level of self care right now, because now I am present with something else, I need to just slide to the side for a second and let her in, because I want to be here for presence for this conversation.
And there you
So
go.
that allowing those moments for ourselves.
Well, I could challenge that.
Go
Maybe you
for it.
should have been in this present moment and not
Should have been.
the with the moment of the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's
Maybe I should
right?
have been.
Maybe there isn't a right one. Maybe it was where your mind went in the moment.
Mm-hmm. There is no right. And it
And
was
you
a
went
choice.
and it was a choice. And you went to where your mind was in the moment. You acknowledged and respected, hey, I've now been distracted. And
Mm-hmm.
if I don't go and open the door, I'm gonna stay distracted.
Yes.
Hi.
And so Onyx is here to join us briefly,
Oh,
and she hates
beautiful.
me right now. She's very mad at me.
It's so beautiful.
But there you go. But that thing, I was in my head while you were talking, while you were sharing everything. I'm in my head thinking, we're here recording. I can't slide out of the way, putting all these rules on my experience here in this moment for this episode, and realizing what I really needed to do was acknowledge, take care of what was the most pressing thing, because it was really tearing me out of presence. I was present with that noise
Exactly.
rather than the conversation. Where do we choose? What drives our energy? And I
And
I
wait,
could put all those rules and just
what
ignore.
and you choosing that, what happened? Nothing bad happened in that.
No. And actually, I wonder if it actually made a more engaging episode because it was real.
And on that note, being real, knowing that your self-care can be messy. It doesn't need to be curated. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It can be whatever you need it to be in the moment. What would you leave our listeners with to ponder and our coaches?
I think it goes back to that moment that when you are when you're in something, you're in an experience, whether it's a coaching session, a conversation, your own self-care, have an awareness around what is truly the thing you're present with. And if something is drawing you away from being in that moment, notice it and give yourself permission to choose. Because I can't tell you to stay in the meditation if you're meditating, if there's something else going on, or you begin worrying about other things going on in life. They may need attention. And there's no, like you pointed out, nothing bad's going to happen, but there comes an active intentional choice at the end of it of what serves me best for myself and my well-being in those moments, and make it a conscious choice rather than a, oh, I'm just going to go do the other thing anyway.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's self-care is really about what is your need in that moment and are you acknowledging it?
Mhm. And then how what does that self-care do for you building forward toward your intentionally created future? Where's the flex in that again? There's no right or wrong.
Mm,
There's choice in the moment. How does that guide us and serve us here and toward who we dream of becoming?
I love it. We want to thank everybody. We are wrapping up. This is it. We will see you next season. So stay tuned for new and exciting things to come.
Looking forward to it monthly. This has been great.
It's been great,
We'll
Dan.
see you all. See y'all soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.